Okay, today we're going to be making chicken carbonara. Very simple. Okay, so it shouldn't take us very long. The first thing I'm going to be doing, I've got some water here, it's already boiling. I'm going to be adding maybe half a teaspoon of salt for flavor or taste. Not a lot. Then I'm going to be adding I'm going to add a tiny bit of oil to prevent it sticking. Not a lot. That should be enough. And the recipe asks for 200 grams of spaghetti. Is it not open? Oh, yes. I'm just going to go and I think I'm just going to use that. This is a 500 gram packet. It has been opened, so most of it has been used. I'm going to snap them in half, or should I keep them whole? I'm going to snap them in half. No, I'll keep them whole. Okay. The thing is, when you keep them whole, that bit needs to soften before the rest of it will be able to go down. So I'll keep them whole. Normally I'll snap them. Okay. Once the bottom softens, then I'll ensure that they go down fully in the water. I'm going to wait for that to do that before I touch the chicken actually. Okay, so I'll just use my wooden spoon. Just to get them in the water. So at least these can be cooking in the meantime. Right. Happy with that? All submerged into the water. So I leave that to cook for about 8 to 10 minutes, depends on the branding of the spaghetti. Some of them will take roughly 8 minutes, some of them take up to 12 minutes. So I leave them there to boil. I reduce the flame as well, so it's on medium and just boiling. So I leave that there to boil. The next thing I'm going to be doing is preparing my chicken. For this recipe, I don't have to season the chicken at all. Okay, just get rid of this small bit. So I'll have everything ready. Won't be using it now, so I'm just going to cut these into small strips. Not too thick. These should be able to cook within 5 minutes, so I don't need to have them very thick. I'm just using my bridge method. I'm ensuring that I'm not putting my fingers directly in the way. So bridge method where appropriate and where possible. Right, that's done. So into small strips. Okay, and they're not too thick. So I leave that there. I've got 1 clove of garlic. I could really just press it and add it to the pan, but I choose to chop it, so I will need to use this in a bit. I'm just going to cut it a bit smaller because I need it to be mixed in with the dish. To use my knife anymore after this. I'm just going to put it away. That's small enough for me. Actually, I need the knife to lift them off in a minute. Just give my hands a quick rinse. Right, and I've got some bacon here. It's already sliced or cut into small, very small cubes. It's in a packet here. I'm going to be using that. For people that are not allowed bacon, for personal preference, because of personal preference or religious belief, we could have a discussion about what you could use as a substitute for the bacon, if you wish, or not use anything at all. Okay, chicken should be okay. Right, so I'm going to add roughly a tablespoon of olive oil in the pan. I'll show you what I've got in a minute. Don't want it to be too oily. Right, so I've got that amount of oil, olive oil, roughly a tablespoon. Now wait for this to heat up. Put it on high heat for it to heat up quite quickly. I'm going to give my spaghetti a quick swirl. Make sure that they're not sticking together and they're loose. I'll keep that there. Wait for my pan to heat up. I've got my bacon here. The recipe asks for roughly 50 grams. I'm going to use half of this amount. Should I go for all of it? Yeah. I'll just go and use all of it for now, because otherwise it's going to sit in the fridge. Okay, so wait for this to heat up. Put it on high heat for now, and then monitor it. Alright, I can see it smoking slightly, so I'm going to add my bacon. You can go for pancetta as well. And I'm going to add my garlic as well. This finely chopped garlic. I'm going to fry these until they're lightly golden. Okay. Then I'm going to remove them from the pan. So slightly golden and a bit crispy. That's what I'm aiming to get. Put the heat up on very high. Producing a bit of water at the moment, so it's not really getting crispy really, even though it's on the maximum heat. It's producing a lot of water. You can see some bit of it getting a bit crisp. In the meantime, I'm going to be cracking my egg. I will leave that for a bit later. So I'll crack this one. And I'll beat it in the meantime. I'm going to put this. getting there. The water is almost evaporated. I may need to add a bit more oil for my chicken that has disappeared. The water has evaporated, so it's almost there. I'm going to have to remove it from the pan. Getting a bit crispy, which is what I'm aiming to get. I'm going to have to add them back to the mixture in a minute. So I'll remove them for now. So that's the bacon along with the garlic. Flavor is still in a bit of the oil that's there, not much. I'm going to have to add a tiny bit of oil to stick it, the chicken stick in. Pan is already hot, so I'm just going to go and add my chicken, and I need to cook this for 4 to 5 minutes until it's fully cooked. Okay, shouldn't take long because they are in small thin strips. Just spread them to the bottom of the pan so they can cook really quickly. Alright, my pasta is finished, the spaghetti is finished. I'm going to turn this flame off. And I'm going to be draining my spaghetti. I need to keep a bit of the water, okay, so I won't get rid of all of it. So I'll quickly do this and get some at the end as well. We'll need to use that small amount at the end. There. The chicken needs to be fully cooked, so in a minute I'm going to be cutting and ensuring that the inside is white, okay, and I can't see any pink bits. Cake. Let's test. Almost there. Right, at this point I need to add my bacon. So this mixture that I've got here bacon along with garlic. I need to add these to the pan again. Okay, the chicken is cooked. going to be adding my spaghetti, a bit of the water that's left over, some cream, my parma ham, and all my spices there. Well, not all. Salt, pepper, and a bit of chili. So I just had all right, just give this a quick mix. I need to add a tiny bit of my water that I used to cook with. I'm going to add the egg last. Or should I add
the cream in the egg?
I'm going to add my cream and wait for it to heat through. Won't be adding this cream. Increase my temperature for it to heat through. May add a bit more. What's going on there? I'm going to add a bit more cream. While that is heating through, I'm going to flavor, add some black pepper, a bit of salt. The cheese is salted, plus I've got salt in the spaghetti. I added salt to the water. The bacon is salty as well, so be careful when adding the salt. Then I've got some chili flakes. This is totally up to you how much you want to add of the chili flakes. This one is not very hot, it's medium. I added quite a bit. Okay. Mix these in. Then I'm going to go for a bit of pancetta. We've dumping it all in.
It's 3 tablespoons.
3 tablespoons. And it's up to you if you want to put some on top at the end as well. I'm going for 3 tablespoons now. Mix this in, and it's piping hot at the moment. So I'm going to be adding my last ingredient, which is a beaten egg. Okay, I won't be turning the flame off. The recipe asks me to turn the flame off while adding it, but I'm a bit skeptic. I want the egg to be cooked slightly. I'm just gonna add this in. Mix it in. Trying to prevent it from scrambling in the middle, so I can see bit of egg. Maximum heat. Quickly stir it in, and then I'm going to turn the flame off. Nice and creamy, and then that's it. Abdi's face is saying something different, because you know when you're only used to one particular type of food, that's what he's saying, that his face is saying. Okay, so nice and creamy, that's it. Italian product. How many of us have had carbonara before? None of us? Okay, never mind. Back to seats. You're gonna